me Z and T, cause I'm the best in the game. I got the fame, the style that isn't lame.
Hey, is there a cassette tape anywhere?
I sure do. This cassette is the best, I can attest. Best cassette in the east to the west. Yeah, I ain't a rapper. This cassette's dapper. I'm no capper.
Okay, do you mind if I take that off your hands?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, thank you.
No problem, bro.
And this is this week's Closet Classics.
Ho, 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 and welcome into the BCAT studio at Christmas time. And this month I'm going to be doing, in keeping with the Christmas season, I'm going to be doing 3 wonderful films with the theme of Christmas. And these films are A Christmas Carol, and then we'll be doing It's a Wonderful Life, and finally National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. These are different films that are all associated with the Christmas season, and I know you're going to enjoy these as much as I do. Now, the first film is a very, very famous classic, A Christmas Carol. Now, this film was done, it was directed by Brian Desmond Hurst, and it was done in 1951. And the original film was done with Reginald Owen as playing Scrooge, and that was done in 1938. Now, this particular film that I'm reviewing is the one that I personally like best. In fact, it's a film that to me is very meaningful. I watch it every Christmas time. I mean, Christmas isn't Christmas unless I sit down with my family and watch this film, usually on Christmas Eve. And so I really love it, and I'm sure you'll love it too. Now, the thing that makes this film, I believe, is the performance of Alistair Sim. He's an English actor, and he just is magnificent. I mean, this film is totally enjoyable from beginning to end. It's a film where it depicts, it's an old Charles Dickens story, and it depicts a really notorious skinflint who's in London, and he has a business, and in his older years, which this film is set, starts out on Christmas Eve, as a matter of fact, and in his older years, he become a terrible skinflint so bad that I mean he has a partner, Jacob Marley, who has died, and I mean he doesn't even care, and so the interesting thing is the setup of the film is that Jacob Marley was also a skinflint, and he died and is doomed to roam the earth as a ghost in chains, as a matter of fact. Now that particular part is very, very significant to me, since I did Jacob Marley in a school at the school as a member of the Burlington Players, and I loved it. I loved that thing. I was in chains and white makeup and everything like that. It was just wonderful. And it turns out that that was played in this movie by Michael Hordern, and Bob Cratchit is Mervyn Johns, and Tiny Tim, as you'll find out who he is played by Glenn Dearman. And there's his nephew, Ebenezer Scrooge, is of course Scrooge is Ebenezer Scrooge, and that's played by Alistair Sim, and his nephew is Fred, and that's played by Brian Worth. And then there's an interesting little cameo part by Mrs. Dilbert, who is the maid of Scrooge, and that's Kathleen Harrison. Now, what occurs here is Marley tells Scrooge that he's going to be visited by three spirits: the ghost of Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas to come. And hopefully, the idea is that Jacob Marley wants to reform, have Scrooge reform his ways to save him of the fate that Marley has. So the first spirit comes at the stroke of midnight, and it's the spirit of Christmas past. And this is a spirit who shows Scrooge, brings him back to his early days when actually he was a happy youth and enjoyed it, and he had particular memories of a old Fezziwig and so forth, who treated him very well, and other things. Now, then he's visited by, at 1 o'clock by the ghost of Christmas present, and he starts talking, that ghost starts talking about, there's a very merry giant ghost who starts talking about the terrible things that are going on in the world and so forth, and people that are suffering from poverty and so forth, and Scrooge was a miser skinflint that wouldn't give anybody anything. Finally, it's the ghost of Christmas to come at 3 o'clock, and he is shown what's going to happen to him if he continues his ways. He dies, and penniless, and people are robbing all of his belongings. So at any rate, he reforms. And now this film clip will give you an idea of what happens after he reforms. So if we could have the first film clip now.
Hatchet, you're late.
Sir,
What do you mean by coming in here at this time of day?
I'm very sorry, sir. I am behind my time, sir.
You are indeed. Step this way, Mr. Cratchit, please.
It's only once a year, sir. It won't be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir.
I'm sure you were. Well, we won't beat about the bush, my friend. I'm not going to stand this sort of thing any longer. Which leaves me no alternative but to raise your salary. I haven't taken leave of my senses, Bob. I've come to them. From now on, I want to try to help you to raise that family of yours. If you'll let me. Well, we'll talk it over later, Bob, over a bowl of hot punch. Meanwhile, you just go and put some more coal in that fire. You go straight out and buy a new coal scuttle. Yes, and you do that before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit. I don't deserve to be so happy. I can't help it. I just can't help it.
Scrooge was better than this.
That part I just absolutely love is when he reforms and changes his ways, because before that he was really very bad to Bob Cratchit. And Bob Cratchit had a young son, Tiny Tim, who was crippled, and the point is that Scrooge reformed so much that he made it a point to, from then on, treat Bob Cratchit's family extremely well, including Tiny Tim, and helped him to recover from his illness. And so you'll just love this film from beginning to end, and it's the best version of all of them. There were lots of versions, and some of them were played, Scrooge was played by people like George C. Scott, Patrick Stewart, Albert Finney actually played in a musical version, and the original one I said was Reginald Owen, and there was one by Frederick March. So, but this with Alistair Sim is absolutely the greatest, and you must see this one. So let's go on to the next film. The next film is, I'm sure, familiar to many of you because it's though we played. It's a Christmas a holiday classic, which is played very often on TV and will probably be played again this year. And it's a Wonderful Life. The movie's called It's a Wonderful Life. It's directed by Frank Capra. It was done in 1946. And actually came to be a holiday classic around in the 80s and so forth, and it seems to be played many, many times at Christmas. So you can either see it on TV or rent it if you don't see it on TV. Now, this is a film that stars Jimmy Stewart as George Bailey. And this is set in a small town of Bedford Falls at Christmas Eve, and there are a very good cast in this movie. There's Donna Reed plays his wife. There's Mr. Potter, who is Lionel Barrymore, and of course we all know Lionel Barrymore as a great actor, and he was wonderful in his part. In fact, the interesting thing about Mr. Potter is he is sort of the Scrooge of this story. I mean, he is a very miserly. He practically owns the town, and he really wants to control the whole town, and particularly the savings and loan, the Bedford Falls Savings and Loan, which was owned by George Bailey's father, Jimmy Stewart's father, and he died. And Potter has terrible things to say about him, and George Bailey revolts and calls him all sorts of names and so forth, which comes back to haunt him in a sense. So, and the other people in this film that are also quite good are Uncle Billy is played by Thomas Mitchell. He's a fellow that works with George Bailey in the bank, and he is just a very, very good actor, and he's a central figure in what happens to George Bailey. And there's Bert, played by Ward Bond. And so Uncle Billy, of course, there's a love affair with. They show the early years of love affair with Donna Reed and George Bailey and Jimmy Stewart, George Bailey, and she is Mary Bailey. In the end, they get married, and it turns out that all sorts of things start to befall him when Uncle Billy takes a big deposit of $8,000 to the bank. And he's very kind of absent-minded and so forth, and he leaves the money there. And of course, Mr. Potter happens to see it and actually picks up the money. So he has the money, and he doesn't tell George that he has it. And George now the bank examiners come, and they want this, they want to go over the books and everything like that. And then he comes to Mr. Potter. Bailey comes to Mr. Potter and begs him, for the money, and Potter uses this moment. And first of all, Potter stole the money, actually, misappropriated the money, and then to boot, he starts to use that as, to malign George Bailey. It's a horrible scene. So as a result, I mean, Bailey, the thing is, the bank is going to go under, and everything seems to be going wrong for Bailey, and he decides, everything comes to, he's hit bottom. And so what he decides to do is to end his life. Now, just before this, it turns out that you see this scene in heaven, and there's a very bumbling angel who wants to get his wings, Clarence, which is played by Henry Travers, and wonderfully played by Henry Travers. And Clarence, in order to redeem himself and to get his wings, he comes down to Earth to help George Bailey out of this situation. So George Bailey's about to, in fact, jumps off the bridge. And so Clarence dives in and saves him. And so from there, it turns out that, Bailey tells Clarence, I wish I was never born. And Clarence says, aha, this is a great opportunity to show him what happens if he's never born, and perhaps get my wings that way. And as a matter of fact, the film is great, because what goes on from there is you start to see George Bailey had touched a lot of people in his life. There's his brother, who he actually saved from drowning, and in fact he was sort of deaf in one ear because of that, and lots of people along the way. There was an old druggist who gave somebody the wrong thing, and he helped him, and there was all sorts of people he helped. But now the thing turns around, and since he's never born, he sets it up. The angel sets it up so Bailey indeed goes through what happens if he's never born, and all these things terrible. The town is taken over by Potter. It's now called Pottersville, and the whole thing. It's a sad turn of events. And so as time goes on, he begins to see how horrible it is that what would happen if he was never born. In other words, he really did have a wonderful life. So what happens is Clarence finally decides to bring him back to his real life, and of course he's so happy and so forth. So this next film clip gives you an idea of what happens after he's gets his life back.
Merry Christmas, George! Merry Christmas, movie house! Merry Christmas, Emporium! Merry Christmas, you wonderful old building and loan! Hey! Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter! Happy New Year to you! In jail. Go on home, they're waiting for you. Mary! 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 Well, hello, Mr. Bank Examiner. How, Mr. Bailey, there's a deficit. I know, $8,000.
George, I've got a little paper.
I'll bet it's a warrant for my arrest. Isn't it wonderful? I'm going to jail. Merry Christmas, reporters. Oh, where's Mary? Mary! Oh, look at this wonderful old drafty house. Mary! 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 Have you seen my wife?
Merry Christmas, Daddy!
Kids! Pete! Oh. Kids! Janie, Tommy! Let me look at you. Oh, I could eat you up. Where's your mother?
She went looking for you. With Uncle Billy. Daddy!
Zuzu, my little ginger snap. How do you feel?
Fine. Not a smidge of temperature.
Not a smidge of hallelujah.
Hello. George, darling. Mary. George, darling. Where are you? Oh, George. George. George.
Let me touch you. Are you real?
George.
Well, you have no idea what's happened to me.
I have no idea what happened. Well, come on, George. Come on downstairs. Quick, they're on their way.
All right.
This is the redemption part of the movie, and the the real happy part after he goes through all the hits bottom and goes through all of the negative aspects. It sort of parallels the Scrooge film in a lot of ways. So this is a great film, a totally totally enjoyable film. The acting is magnificent. In fact, this particular film, Capra, got the Best Director Award, was nominated for six other awards, and in fact became Best Film of 46, and it also is on the 100 greatest films of all time. So it's a great movie, not to be missed, and I know you'll absolutely enjoy this one. So, going to the last film. Now we have a little change of pace here. This is an absolute comedy, but a totally enjoyable one, and it stars Chevy Chase. Now, Chevy Chase, in my view, is just such a great comedian. He really is has a very dry comedic persona, and he. That particular way that he presents things, I mean, it's classic Chevy Chase. I mean, he is just wonderful. I love that kind of performance, and he does a wonderful performance. So, at any rate, this is a story. It was directed by Jeremiah Chechik in 1989, and it's one of a series of a National Lampoon vacation films. There's Vegas, and there's a couple of these films, and this one, the principal characters in this are Chevy Chase as Clark Griswold, and his wife is played by Beverly D'Angelo, who's a very pretty and goes along perfectly with him, and she's straight and he's like crazy. He's off the wall. And Randy Quaid, who I absolutely love, is his cousin Eddie, and he makes me laugh just to look at him. I mean, he's so I don't know how to describe him, but he is just a goofball. He's a goofball. It's amazing some of the scenes that involve him and Chevy Chase. And now there's a particular scene in this that I absolutely love. I mean, it's a scene where Griswold has his business, and he has a boss who supposedly promises him this big Christmas bonus. So he's expecting a huge check, and so he invites all of this dysfunctional family for Christmas dinner, and that is hilarious. I mean, this film is hilarious all the way through because the sight gags and everything are just continual. I mean, one after another, the trees and the cat that gets fried by chewing on the light string of lights and so forth. All sorts of things go on in this film, and they're hilarious from beginning to end. Now, the scene that I love is the dinner with this dysfunctional family, and Mae Questel is Aunt Bethany, and I'm sure in the next film clip you will absolutely enjoy her performance as Aunt Bethany. She's a fruitcake. And William Hickey plays her husband, Uncle Lewis, who William Hickey is great. He played in Sea of Love and Prizzi's Honor and films like that. He was magnificent. So let's have the next film clip.
What, dear?
Grace!
Grace. She passed away 30 years ago.
They want you to say grace. The blessing.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
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 Catherine, this turkey tastes half as good as it looks. I think we're all in for a very big treat.
Save the neck for me, Clark.
Okay, Eddie.
Look at that.
Sorry.
Why are you crying?
I told you we put it in too early.
Oh, it's just a little dry. It's fine.
I told you.
Here's the heart.
And why I said she's a fruitcake, Aunt Bethany is a fruitcake. In fact, she does crazy things when she shows up at the house. She gives him a package, a wrapped package, a Christmas gift, and it turns out, the package is jumping around. It turns out she wrapped up her cat. So, I mean, she's like off the wall. So this whole thing, I mean, this is just one sequence that you were able to see, and I think that'll give you an idea just how funny this film is all the way through. Again, totally enjoyable film. Now, this whole set of films, I think, the Christmas season is such a wonderfully warm season, and I know it's hectic because everybody's shopping and everything, last minute things to do. But when you finally get to sit down and enjoy it, you can enjoy it either before or after Christmas with these films, because they are films that put you in such a wonderful holiday mood, and it turns out the acting in all of them. Again, I as you know, I choose films where I am a great admirer of the acting performances. Those are very important, and they make the film. And of course, the stories are great. But it turns out that no matter what, if you have good actors, the story somehow looks great, no matter what it is, because that's the key. Its performance is the key. And so I hope that you all have a very, very Merry Christmas. I know that, and Happy New Year, of course. And I know that you'll try to get these films, or I hope that you will, because you can enjoy them as much as I have over the time. And again, once again, I would like to get your feedback. I haven't had much feedback, but if you would like to have other films reviewed that I haven't showed so far, this is my 11th show, and I will be seeing you again in January with a new show. But in the meantime, hopefully you'll get to see this within the next month. So with that said, I wish all of you again very happy Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll see you next month. Thank you.